Canto 10. Everyone ready? So with that, we will first of all start with the prayers, the Mangala Charan, and then we can read some verses. There are about 40 verses Lord Brahma is speaking. Of course, we will not be able to cover 40 verses because the goal is not just to read, but at least to meditate upon those prayers, meditate upon Lord Brahma's mood, and what lessons we can draw from this wonderful prayers and this chapter. So we'll see how much we can cover, and some will spend more time than others. So let's start with the prayers first. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I offer my humble obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayet. Before reciting Srimad Bhagvatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narnarayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Shri Vyasadeva, the author of Srimad Bhagavatam. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in the classes on Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalayi Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Mukam karoti vachalam pangvam langyate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Namo Pankajanaabhaya Nama Pankajamaline Nama Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangriye. Govardhanam dharam vande Gopala Goparupinam Gokula Utsavameshanam Govindam Gopika Priyam Vande Navaghana Shama Dvibhujam Muralidharam Pitambaradharam Devam Sharadam Purushottamam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Padvanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, dear Vaishnavas, before I begin, I prostrate myself hundreds and hundreds of times at all of your lotus feet, so you can give your blessings and prayers, so I can speak something from Srimad Bhagavatam as per the authorized Guru Sadhu and Shastras, and just repeat what I have heard from my teachers. So that is only possible by the mercy of devotees. So I humbly request and beg for your prayers and blessings. So for the next some time, I can be an instrument to speak on this wonderful topic in this wonderful month of Purushottama and this wonderful chapter, Lord Brahma's prayers to Lord Krishna. Sadhunam samachittanam sutaram matkritatmanam darshanam na bhavid bandho pumso akshino savitur yatha durlabho manusho deho dehinam shanbhangurai tatrapitapid durlabham manye vaikuntha priyadarshanam. This human form of life is very, 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 very rare. But what is more rare is to get the association of devotees like all of you. So I feel so blessed, honored, privileged, fortunate to be amongst your association, although virtually, but it is not different because our whole movement is based on Vani, on hearing. So we could be sitting thousands of miles away, but we could be still connected by the medium of Krishna Katha. And that's real connection. And on the contrary, we could be sitting next to each other, but we could be emotionally and spiritually thousands of miles away. So I'm so grateful to all of you for taking out your precious time for this wonderful topic, Lord Brahma's prayers. So let me show you a wonderful picture, because everyone likes to see picture, and that will give us some context to this whole thing. And Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. So that's the topic for today. Lord Brahma's prayers to Lord Krishna. And this is a very famous, picture, which most of you may have already seen multiple times. But I really like this picture, and we will be discussing in great length about this and what is the background, and why Lord Brahma was praying, and what was the episode. So we'll try to first understand what is prayer, what is the background of this whole episode, and what did Lord Brahma pray. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just a few days back, His Grace Prana Govind Prabhu was mentioning about Vaishnav songs, Vaishnav bhajans, etc. So prayer is not just a lip service. Vandanam, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. Amongst the 9 limbs of bhakti, especially Sri Prahlad Maharaj, Vandanam, or offering prayers, is very, very important. And who is the famous Acharya, which is really glorified for offering prayers, is Akrura. He offered extraordinary prayers to Sri Krishna Balaram. And the whole Bhagavatam, actually, if we see every canto, there are so many prayers. Prayers of Lord Shiva, prayers of Gajendra, prayers of Dhruva, prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, prayers of Indra, prayers of personified Mother Earth, prayers of personified Vedas, prayers of Lord Brahma. So many prayers are there. Prayers of Mother Kunti, prayers of Lord Bhishma Dev, and much more. So prayer is an integral part of Srimad Bhagvatam. And therefore, prayer should also be an integral part of our own lives. Chanting is what? Chanting is basically a prayer as well. The best prayer, the best mantra. Calling out from the heart, not just from the lips. Because prayer is an expression of heart. It describes our emotion, whether it's Vaishnava bhajan or whether it's through shlokas or whether it's through Harinam. So Lord Brahma is also expressing his heart. We will see that in the form of prayer. And that's what Canto 10, Chapter 14 is about. But little bit about the background. So what had happened now, this famous picture you may have seen multiple times, that Lord Krishna is having his lunch. And on that day in the morning, Agasur was killed. Lord Krishna was about 5 years old, just transitioning from 5 to 6 years. And interestingly, on that day, Balramji's birthday was there. So he didn't go because he was, Mother Rohini was taking care of Balramji. So he didn't go on that day when this whole pastime happened. Typically, or primarily known as Brahma Vimohana Leela, when Brahmaji was illusioned. So again, we have to cover a lot, so I'll not go in a lot of details, but just to give a brief background, that Agasur was killed, the snake demon or the anaconda demon, however, the big cave, whatever, the Ajgar. Someone's phone is not on mute. So after the Agasur was killed, then all the Gopa friends sat down for lunch. And Brahmaji was watching all this. Well, does he is God? Is he the supreme personality of God? He just appears to be like an ordinary person, ordinary boy. And when Madhumangal has the charge, the buttermilk, and then Krishna, punches in a joking way, and all the buttermilk is over Krishna's mouth, Krishna's face. This is not Vedic culture to drink someone's jutha. It is not shuchi. It is unclean. It is unhealthy. This is not Supreme Lord. He doesn't seem to be cultured. So Brahmaji was thinking like that. And as a result, he thought, let me test. So first he stole the calves and put them to, now the calves were running in a different direction because of the plan of Brahma. And then they were going, and then the Gopa friend said, well, the calves are going. So Krishna then said, okay, let me get the calves. You all continue. Don't wait for me. Just continue your lunch. So Lord Krishna went to take care of the cows. And then when he returned, all the friends were gone. Well, an ordinary person cannot figure this out, but Krishna is not an ordinary person. Janma karma chame divyam. All these activities are divine. All his pastimes are divine, divya. So he immediately understood that it is Brahma. He has forgotten who his real father is. Although he is called Swayambhu, but where is Swayambhu born from? Where did the lotus come from? From Lord Vishnu's navel. So Brahmaji was also he wanted to test Krishna, wanted to test his own master, or wanted to check, is he the real God? So Krishna at that point expanded himself in all all the forms of his, same as the Gopa boys and the cows. So Krishna expanded in thousands of forms. And that day, everyone in the evening came back. And for 1 year, well, Brahmaji took the cows and the calves and the boys for just a very short time. But as we have just read yesterday, that his kalpa, his 1 day is equivalent to millions of years. So according to his calculation, it just took for a very short time, some moment. But at that point, almost 1 year had passed. Now in that 1 year, it is said that all the Vrindavan Vasis, the residents of Raja, were loving their children more than anything. Like earlier, their love for Krishna was always more than their own child. Can anyone love someone else's child more than their own child? Not possible, unless we are pure Rajavasis. Let's say if your neighbor's son is sick and your son is sick, or your daughter is sick, or your neighbor's daughter is sick, who will you take to the to the medical or whatever is required? Will you take your neighbor's child first to the hospital or whatever is required, or your own child? Certainly, your own child. That's pretty natural, and don't feel bad about it. As Radhanath Swami Maharaj said, don't feel bad about it. It's a natural inclination. But the point which I wanted to make that Krishna was loved by everyone more than their own child. The cows would love Krishna more. The Brajavasis would love Krishna more than their own child. But for this 1 year, suddenly their love for Krishna, their own children, grew extremely, it had no bounds. Balramji was watching all this. The cows were loved by their mother cows in extraordinary limits. And we have discussed this story also in the past classes that this was the time when all the Gopa boys were also married. So their marriages were fixed, and we discussed, Pranavarin Prabhu mentioned about Katyayani Vrata, Madhumangal story and all that. So this was the phase when all the Gopa boys were also married. So Krishna actually married everyone. But long story short, now Brahmaji, some moments had passed, and he wanted to check what's going on. And for this 1 year, all the activities were going normal. Because who can illusion Krishna? Who can put illusion into illusion? The Supreme Lord who puts everyone into illusion. So then he came, and then he saw that they're having their lunch. Krishna is still holding in his left hand some morsel of food, some particle of food, and everything is going on. The cows are there, the boys are there, and then what is this going on? So he was confused. Then he went back to the cave where he had hidden all the cows and the boys, and he went and saw, well, everyone is sleeping in the transcendental slumber. And he went back again to Vrindavan. He back and forth. He checked multiple times, and he was completely confused. His quad-core processor, Brahmaji has 4 heads, quad, was running. And you can imagine, Brahma is not an ordinary person. His whole body is made up of intelligence. There are 8 elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether, bhumi, vapo, nalo, vayu. So as we go higher, our body has more of gross elements. As we go up, there are more subtle elements like mind, intelligence, ego. So Brahmaji's body is of complete intelligence. So he was confused. And then he realized that I had forgotten. I had forgotten who am I and who is this person. And that's when basically this chapter kind of starts. And then he begs for his mistake, glorifies Krishna. So this is the chapter. So this was just a brief background, and this before this part is called Vimohan. Vimohan, Brahma Vimohan Leela. Brahmaji was bewildered, confused, put into illusion. By whom? By the Supreme Lord. So now we will go into the specifics of this chapter. And as I said, we will certainly not be able to cover 40 verses. The whole chapter has 60 verses around, but the first 40 are spoken by Lord Brahma. So let's see how many we can cover. There's one person waiting in the, let's see, gold, or if it's a right person or a wrong person to be put. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So for now, I'll just put everyone on mute, so you'll not be able to unmute. I don't want the conversation to be distracted at any point. So, but at the right time. Okay. Looks. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so we're all set. I'll share my screen. We'll start reading the verses. Are you able to see the text?
Can you close out? More zoom.
You see now?
Yes.
Okay. I'll read the Sanskrit, and devotees can read the translation. And then we will discuss some verses, we'll discuss more, some will move a little quicker because time is less, verses are more. Shri Brahma Uvacha Naumidyete Abhara Vapushet Tadid Abharaya Gunjavatam Sa Paripritchala Sanmukhaya Vana Vanya Sraje Kevala Vanyasraje Kavala Vishana Lakshma Sriye Mridu Pade Pashupangajaya. Hare Krishna. Yes, Rakesh Prabhu, please read translation.
Hare Krishna devotees. Thank you. Translation. Lord Brahma said, "My dear Lord, you are the only worshipable Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore I offer my humble obeisance and prayers just to please you. O son of the king of the cowherds, your transcendental body is dark blue like a new cloud, your garments is brilliant like lightning, and the beauty of your face is enhanced by your gunaja, earrings, and the peacock feather on your head, wearing garlands of various forest flowers and leaves, and occupied with a herring stick, a, a buffalo horn, and a flute, you stand beautifully with a morsel of food in your hand."
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, the first verse Lord Brahma is speaking is about the beauty of the Lord. Hence, the scriptures have glorified Krishna and his beauty in great lengths. There are so many bhajans, so many verses which talk about Krishna's beauty. And one of the six main opulences of the Lord is unlimited beauty. There is no one more beautiful than the Supreme Lord. He is the most beautiful. So, what is Lord Brahma saying here? Naomi, I offer my praise unto whom? O most worshipable one, Purushottama. You see, that's the Purushottaman going on. Bhara, unto you who are like a dark cloud, whose body, whose vapu, is like a dark monsoon cloud. We sing this verse every day. Vande Navaghana Shama. Navaghana Shama. Shama means dark. Nava means new. Ghana Shama. Monsoon cloud. And his body, his garment is like brilliant lightning. He's wearing the Pitambara Vastra is like brilliant lightning. All the ornaments, all his gunjamalas are made up of small berries. The peacock feather, Paripicha, Lasata, they are Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam. And what about his face? So look at this wonderful picture of Krishna here. His beauty is shown in this nice picture here. See how he's wearing the pitambar clothes, how he has the herding stick tucked under his hand, and also in the hand you see the morsel of food. So this picture is, like very, very nicely made by Srila Prabhupada disciples under the direction of Guru Sadhu Shastra. So such intricate details, the Gunjamala, the buffalo horn you see on the tucked under around his waist, that's the buffalo horn, and the peacock feather. So all this is basically glorifying Krishna's beauty. So Brahmaji is glorifying. And there's a very nice verse in the Garga Samhita in this connection that when, Lord Brahma saw and gazed at Krishna, then he thought that this must be a Gopa. He cannot be Lord Hari, the personality of Godhead. Why will he enjoy such wretched food? Basically, it's not Vedic. It's unclean to eat someone's remnants. But Krishna loves the remnants of his devotees. So a very, very important lesson for us here in this text is that whenever we approach the Lord, first we should start glorifying his name, form, qualities, his beauty. Therefore, we should always You should not approach the Lord and just ask, okay, I want this. Please help me with my disease. Please help me with my job. Please help me with my anarthas. We can ask all that, although it's not the best thing to ask, but we can ask all that much later. Brahmaji also will come to his point of repentance. He wanted to ask forgiveness, but it's not the first thing he is doing. First, he is coming and glorifying the Lord. Namo Pankajanaphaya, Nama Pankajamalini, Nama Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangriye. Mata Kunti also, she wanted to make a request. For any devotee we see in the Bhagavatam, it's not that the first thing, even if they have a prayer, they have a request, they want to ask something or tell something, uh, that's not the first thing they will do. They will first prostrate themselves, glorify the Supreme Lord, His qualities, His name, because everything is transcendental. So Krishna's beauty uh, is unparalleled. Is unparalleled. We know the famous episode when Madana or Kamadev saw Krishna's beauty by the sidelong glances of Krishna. He was kind of amazed and like pretty much fainted. And therefore, one of the names of Krishna is Madana Mohana. We can connect from the Brahma Vimohana Leela. Mohan means illusion. So Madan was illusion. So Madana Mohana. So see, Krishna illusions Brahmaji, and Krishna also illusion Madana, Madana Mohana. So this verse is about beauty of Krishna. That how and it's a attention to detail is a symptom of love. It's not that okay, Krishna is beautiful. If you want to glorify someone, you will pay attention to the detail. Okay, what is he carrying? What is he wearing? If someone will just say, okay, Mataji, you cook nicely, that's fine. It's okay. Brahmaji is not saying, Krishna, you are the most beautiful. Brahmaji is using so many metaphors. Oh, your beauty is like the lightning, the brilliant lightning, the ornaments, what's in the ear, what's in the neck, what's in the buffalo horn, the flute, on the side waist. So attention to detail, that's another lesson, is a symptom of love. So, and then just think about if someone is saying to you, how will you feel? If someone notices those details, you will feel encouraged, you will feel inspired in your service. So it's a great lesson for us also. If we have to glorify the Supreme Lord or his devotees, is a great lesson I feel that we all can use. So let's now move on to the next verse, which is text number 2. अस्यापि देववपशुमदनुगृहस्य स्वेच्छामयस्य न तु भूतमयस्य कोऽपि नेषेमहि तव अवसितुं मनसान्तरेण साक्षात् तवैव किम् उत्तम Sukhanubhutehe. Yes, who would read translation? Kashish Mataji, you want to read?
Hare Krishna. Dandavana. My dear Lord, neither I nor anyone else can estimate the potency of this transcendental body of yours, which has shown such mercy to me and which appears just to fulfill the desires of your pure devotees. Although my mind is completely withdrawn from material affairs, I cannot understand your personal form. How, then, could I possibly understand the happiness you experienced within yourself? Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. So, let's first understand who is Brahmaji. Then we will be able to appreciate this verse better. When Yamarajji talks about the Mahajans, first Mahajan he talks about is Swayambhu. Swayambhu Narado Shambhu Kumara Kapilo Manu. Prahlada Janako, Bhishma, Balir, Vaisaki, Vayam. The 12 Mahajan, the first Mahajan Yamarajji is talking about is Swayambhu, is Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma, in the translation it's mentioned, although my mind is completely withdrawn from material affairs, so he's not any Tom, Dick, Harry infused with lust, anger, greed, etc. We have already mentioned that his body is made up of pure intelligence, only intelligence element. Can we imagine? And therefore, he is the chief engineer. He is the secondary creator of the whole material universe. Oh, look at the intricacies. If someone makes a small, watch or a new plane or a new phone, they have so much intelligence. The bigger the creation or the more complex the creation, the bigger the intelligence. So Brahmaji's creation, which is this whole material world, is so complex, so intricate, everything, so many 8.4 million species of life. He is, he is the cause of the demigods, the demons, etc., etc. We have discussed in the cantos before, Canto 2, 3, etc. Now this person is speaking this, that I or anyone else cannot estimate the potency. Now he has realized. Now he has realized his mistake, that I was trying to test you. I was trying to test the one who tests everyone. I forgot that you are the real master. So a very, very important point is that Krishna's name, form, qualities are unlimited and ever expanding. So no one can ever estimate. That does not mean that we should not try to read or hear scriptures. We should certainly try, but thinking that okay, I will be able to understand Krishna is just hallucination. Brahmaji, with his four heads, with his pure intelligence, free from all material attachments, is saying, I cannot understand you, my Lord. So, very, very important point, that we should not try to understand Krishna through our intelligence, through our speculative, or rather we should focus on the next piece which will come in the next verse, how we should try to understand Krishna. In Brahmaji is the Adi Kavi, in the purport it's mentioned, the Adi Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavi, who was so self-realized, he is having difficulty. He is not able to understand. So what to speak of any other person. So that's text number 2. Now we'll move on to text number 3. Jnane prayasam udapasya namanta eva jivanti sanmukharitam bhavadiyavartam sthane sthitam shrutigatam tanu vanmanobhe ye prayaso ajita jito api asau taistrilokyam. Very, very nice verse. This verse we'll spend more time. Very, very important verse. And Prabhupada quotes this, especially this line of this. Thane sthitaha shruti gatam tanuvan manobhir. So if you can't learn the whole verse, at least learn this line. Very often quoted by Srila Prabhupada. And we'll see what it means. So let's read the translation. Would someone like to read the translation, please?
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, ma'am.
Those who even while remaining situated in their established social positions throw away the process of speculative knowledge and with their body, words and mind offer all respects to descriptions of your personality and activities, dedicating their lives to their narrations, which are vibrated by you personally and by your pure devotees, certainly conquer your lordship, although you are otherwise unconquerable by anyone within the three worlds. Hare Krishna.
Wow. Isn't that amazing? So this verse is actually what we are reading in Canto 7, chapter 15 also. That's what is the formula for getting out of this material world. That's what Narad Muni is actually teaching Yudhishthir Maharaj, and then now he started to share his own story as well. So what's the main point? Sthane sthita. Sthan means place. Sthita means situated. That be situated in one's own place. If you are in, because renunciation or bhakti is not a matter of place. And what do we do in that place? Shruti, Shravanam. Shruti gatam tanu van manobhir. Tanu means body. Van, words, and mana, mind. BMW. Everyone should use their BMWs. Body, mind, and words. In what? In service to the Supreme Lord. So body means includes ears, eyes, everything. Not try to understand Krishna through jnana. Because jnana prayasa, one should just give up that jnana. One should, therefore Krishna says, Sarvadharman Parityajya. He explained Jnana Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, analytical study, neti. Okay, this is not, rejection, acceptance. Too complex. Brahmaji is saying, I cannot understand. How can we understand? Impossible to understand Krishna through jnana. But what about bhakti? Bhakti, very, very simple. Ye prayaso, that one who endeavors, ajita becomes jita. The ajita means unconquerable. Jita means victory. Ajita means the one who is unconquerable. That means one who cannot get victory over someone. So Krishna's name is Ajita. So here it's mentioned Ajita Jitopi Asi. That Ajita will become Jita. The unconquerable becomes conquered. How? Tvam bhakti damnasi maya nirodha. In the Chauragraganyam bhajan we sing that. Bhakti damnasi. By the ropes of devotion, Krishna is caught. Who can catch Krishna? No one can catch Krishna. But yes, Prabhupada, this whole section is actually by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. So it's mentioned by Srila Sanatana Goswami that the word Ajita refers to the non-devotees. In case of non-devotees, because non-devotees cannot catch Krishna. They cannot conquer Krishna. Why? Because they are too busy their own life, or through jnana, or through other speculation. But devotees, they follow the process of bhakti. Bhaktya mam avijananti. We can understand Krishna through bhakti. And if we do bhakti, then dadami buddhi yogam tam. Then he will give the right knowledge to understand him. By which yena mam upayanti te, by which you can come to me. So bhakti is the essence. Recently, we also were talking in the discussion of the Brahman Patnis, the Dvija Patnis, as Grace Bhadra Prabhu was explaining. The Dvijas, the Brahmanas were too busy in the speculation, yagyas and fruitive and knowledge and all those stuff. They ignored Krishna's friends. Opportunity for pure bhakti was there to offer everything to them because Krishna accepts through the mouth of his devotees. But they were ignored. On the contrary, the Dvija Patnis didn't have much knowledge. Tantras, mantras, tantras, mudras, pujas, etc. They have one essential ingredient, and that's bhakti. Bilva Mangal Thakur, what is he saying? I will capture you. You will not be able to run away because you are a thief. You have done a lot of thievery. You have stolen a lot of things. And now I'll catch you. And I'll catch you for millions and millions of kalpas, not just for a short time. And you'll not be able to run away. How is such a sweet relation. Why? Because he has the ropes of bhakti. Tvam bhakti damnasi maya niruddha. Not through strength, not through verbal expertise, not through mental power, not through wealth. Oh, I'm a rich person, I can buy Krishna. Duryodhana couldn't buy Krishna. Oh, I am very beautiful. I can attract Krishna with my beauty. Sorry. Oh, I am very learned. I can speak a lot of shlokas. Sorry. Well, I have a PhD degree. I can understand Krishna. Brahmaji had every degree. There's no better degree which anyone could have than Lord Brahma. He couldn't. He was confused. So the point is that Krishna is hungry for bhakti, and then he becomes the unconquerable becomes conquerable. But what do we have to do? Shravanam. Be situated in our own place. We don't have to change our ashrama. It's not that only sannyasis can be devotees. We discussed that. It's not that only married people can be devotees. Everyone in their respective places, whether one is a 5-year-old or a 50-year-old or 100-year-old, married, unmarried, or any other situation, whether rich or poor, learned or illiterate, wealthy or poor, or healthy or diseased, everyone can bind Krishna. Those who have the love of devotion, those who have the ropes of love of devotion. That is the quality to bind Krishna. Nothing else, nothing else, nothing else. So we don't have to change our situation, we have to add Krishna. And in adding Krishna, the first element is Shravana. So therefore, Shruti, Gatam, Sthane, Sthita. Be situated in our own place. Don't try to artificially imitate someone else's situation. Everyone's sthana is different, everyone's situation is different. All we have to do is add Krishna and constantly hear about Krishna. Constantly means regularly, at least sometime, 30 minutes, an hour or so, at least every day in a regulated way, we hear about Krishna. So that is the formula to bind Krishna. Through our body, through our mind, through our words, engage in the process of bhakti, then Krishna will become conquerable. He is actually willing. He loves to be conquered by devotees. It's not that he's feel pain. It's a relationship of love. He wants to be captured by his devotees. For those who have these ingredients of loving devotional service. Any comments, questions so far? Any thoughts before we move to the next verse? Okay, let's move to the next verse. So we read text number 3, and I briefly mentioned from some aspects of the purport as well. Let's move on to text 4. Shreya stitim bhaktenudasyate vibho klishyanti ye kevala bodhalabdhe teshamasau kleshla eva shishyate nanyad yathal sthula dusha vakhatinam. Okay, would someone like to read translation, please?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
My dear Lord, devotional service unto you is the best path of self-realization. If someone gives up that path, engages in the cultivation of speculative knowledge, he will simply undergo a troublesome process and will not achieve his desired result. As a person who beats an empty husk of wheat cannot get grain, one who simply speculates cannot achieve self-realization. His only gain is trouble. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Nayan Prabhu. So very nice verse again glorifying the process of bhakti is the best process, especially in this day and age. And just look at this first line of the purport. Such beautiful, such deep line. Loving service to the Supreme Person is the natural and eternal function of every living entity. So deep it is. So basically, bhakti is dormant. Devotional service is the natural. It's not unnatural thing. But why many don't realize it? Because of the covering of dust, like a diamond in a coal mine. It's covered. So all we have to do with the process of bhakti is to rekindle that spark, to rekindle that natural and eternal function. Jivira Swarupa Krishna Nitya Das. It's not something unnatural. And right now in the conditioned state, we see everyone is serving. Someone is serving dogs, someone is serving cats, someone is serving their boss, someone is serving the country, someone is serving their community, someone is serving, some poor people, someone is serving their family, there's no one bereft of service. Can anyone say, I'm not serving anyone? Then his serving his conditioned mind and senses. Senses say, hey, I want this thing. Okay, I'll give it to you. Mind says, oh, I want to express anger. Okay. He says, thus, he's the servant of mind and senses. So we are all serving. No one can say, I'm not serving. But what is the natural thing? To engage in Krishna's loving devotional service. True Lord Purushottama, Supreme Person. That's bhakti. So, what if we don't do that? What if we try to speculate or try some other processes like speculative knowledge, jnana, and sankhya, all this? What will one get? Brahmaji is saying he'll get trouble. It's a formula for trouble. You'll only get trouble. Krishna also says the same thing in Bhagavad Gita 12.5. Klesho adhikataras tesham. So for those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. Klesha. And it's very, very difficult. So why we take a difficult process? In this purport, there's a very sweet mention from Narasimha Purana. It is said that Patreshu pushpeshu phaleshu toyeshu akirtilabheshu vadvai satsu bhaktyasu labhye purushe purane muktahe kim artham kriyate prayatnaha. Since the primeval personality of God, it is easily attained by what? Offering patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhakta prayachati tadham bhakti upaharitam. It's not saying tadam jnana upaharitam or tadam vairagya upaharitam. Jnana and vairagya are the natural byproducts of bhakti, the two sons. So, by offering leaves, flowers, fruit, etc., it is. And are they difficult? Is it very difficult to find patram pushpam phalam toyam? It's very easy, no matter whichever, and it doesn't take millions of dollars to get those. It doesn't take a lot of tapasya. You have to go to Himalayas to get special some booty. No. Who can say I can't offer anything patram pushpam phalam toyam? Can anyone say I cannot offer a flower or a leaf or some water or some fruit? No one can say that. If one says that, actually it's just a matter of intention. So everyone can offer at least something, and it's very easy. Why does one need to endeavor for liberation separately? So mukti or liberation is a natural byproduct. Gyan, vairagya, it's all natural byproduct. So the idea is, again, bhakti is glorified here. If one tries to attain Krishna or bind Krishna through other ways like speculative knowledge, etc., it's like compared to beating the husk where there are no grains. Empty husk. You have to beat the husk to get the grains out of it. But the grains should not have been taken by someone else. Let's say, Vamsi Vilas Prabhu has already taken out the grains out of the husk. And it may appear a little same because, in the process, it may appear a little similar from outside. But if I come and start beating those husks, will I get anything? All I'll get is just pain in my hands. And that's what Brahma got, pain in his head. His head was moving, spinning in 4 directions, 4 heads. So the easy process, the recommended process, the most sublime process is bhakti. So one should engage in bhakti. That is the essence of this last 2 verses. Let's read text number 5. स्फुरेह भूमान् बहवोऽपि योगिनस् तवद् अरिपेतः निजकर्मलब्ध्या विभूत्या भक्त्या एव कथोपनित्या प्रपिदेरे अंजो अच्युताते गतिं पराम्. Would someone like to read translation, please? Was not read yet. Anyone?
I can read, Prabhu.
Please.
O Almighty Lord, in the past, many yogis in this world achieved the platform of devotional service by offering all their endeavors unto you and faithfully carrying out their prescribed duties. Through such a devotional service, perfected by the process of hearing and chanting about you, they come to understand you, O infallible one, and could easily surrender to you and achieve your supreme abode.
Thank you so much. Again, this verse is also glorifying bhakti. So, as we discussed, right now, Brahmaji has not even come to his, what he was in, what he was actually, had come for, to beg forgiveness. So he has not even yet started. We see here. What is he doing? He is glorifying the process of bhakti. He is glorifying Krishna and his name form qualities, because chanting and hearing, reading, etc., Shravanam. So first he glorifies the process of Shravanam. Here he is glorifying again Shravanam, the process of hearing and chanting about you. And you could easily surrender. Are these difficult? Is it difficult to hear about Krishna? No, especially in this day and age, so many wonderful devotees are giving classes. Srila Prabhupada's classes are easily available. We are so fortunate. Imagine this, think about it. 50 years back, when Prabhupada was giving a class, were the devotees all over the world able to hear that? No, I don't think so. But now we have all the Prabhupada's classes available, our spiritual masters' classes available. And we have regular reading of Srimad Bhagvatam. We are reading Prabhupada's words every day. It's not difficult. All we have to do is simple oral reception. Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Kare. Okay. That word, verse. Shranvatam Shraddhaya Nityam Grinantascha Swacheshtritam Kalena Nati Dirghena Bhagavan Vishate Hridi. When someone takes the message seriously, simple oral reception, and takes it seriously, what happens? Kalena Nati Dirghena. In very short span of time, Bhagavan Vishate Hridi. Krishna resides in that heart. Like Vilamangal Thakur is saying, I will bind you in my heart for millions of kalpas. You won't be able to run away. That kind of devotee can say that, because and Krishna is willing to be bound by everyone, or one who engages in what? Chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And hearing. Chanting is also hearing, because we are hearing, we are supposed to hear the holy name. Reading is also hearing, because we are reading this, we are hearing Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada's transcendental words, his commentaries, his purports, and his disciples' purports, which are also from the various acharyas, Sanatana Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, etc. So very, very important. Let's read next verse. Tathapi bhuman mahima agunnasya te vibhodhum arhati amalantaratmabhi avikrityat swanubhavad arupato yananya bodhyatmat bodhyatmataya na chanyatha. Who would like to read this translation? Anyone?
I can, Prabhuji. Non-devotees, however, cannot realize you in your full personal feature. Nevertheless, it may be possible for them to realize your expansion as the impersonal supreme by cultivating direct perception of the self
Can you hear me? Looks like yes. Images.
Only in this way will your impersonal feature manifest itself to them. Hare Krishna.
I believe everyone has read their own as well. So non-devotees cannot realize that so many verses in Bhagavad Gita, even in 15th chapter, that the foolish cannot understand. Avajananti mam muda. The non-devotees who have no devotion cannot realize Krishna because he is only understood through bhakti. And even if with jnana etc., they can only understand up to the Brahman realization, not the full aspect, the full personal form of the Lord. So through jnana, we can only understand about Krishna's effulgence, the Brahma Jyoti aspect, the impersonal aspect. It may be possible, maybe, that also may be. So why do we want to take a difficult process, and that is also doubtful, and that is also only taking to the third kind of feature, the incomplete understanding of the Lord. So first of all, it's difficult. Secondly, it's not taking us to the right goal, the Bhagavan realization. We have heard this, the Paramatma, the Brahman, the Paramatma, and the Bhagavan realization. So only a less intelligent person will approach that. And His Holiness Bhakti Samrit Maharaj was mentioning, well, even the demons we have discussed, that even the demons go to the Brahma Jyoti. So why do we want to complicate? So in short, the demons are better than the impersonalist, or those who are trying to go to the impersonal feature of the Lord. So that's not the goal for a devotee. That because devotee you follow a simple process. Prabhupada said, eat your way back home, back to Godhead. Prabhupada said ours is kitchen religion. Everyone likes prasad, everyone likes kirtan, everyone likes to dance, everyone likes deities, everyone likes to take darshan. So this is, we remember that line. What line? We just discussed that loving service to the Supreme Lord is the natural and eternal function of every living entity. So it's natural. We just have to fan that spark, as Prabhupada did. Prabhupada came and just fanned the spark, and the hippies turned to happies. They gave up all their wrong things, and they took to pure bhakti, and they became Paramahamsas, pure Vaishnavas. So that's the beauty of bhakti. Let's move on to the next verse, which is text number 7. Gunatmanastepi gunan vimatum hitavatirnasya ka ishireswa asya. Yeah, please keep your phones on mute unless asked to. Kalin yervai vimita sukalpe bhupams shavakhe mihikadyubhashaha. Okay. Would someone like to read this one? Translation.
Krishna Prabhu, I can.
Go ahead.
Pravir Prabhu? Yeah, please read.
In time, learned philosophers or scientists might be able to count all the atoms of the earth, the particles of snow, or perhaps even the shining molecules radiating from the sun, the stars, and other luminaries. But among these learned men, who could possibly count the unlimited transcendental qualities possessed by you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who have descended onto the surface of the earth for the benefit of all living entities? Hare Krishna.
Wow, this is so amazing verse. Such an amazing. Is it possible to count all the atoms and molecules in the universe? No, right? At least for us, or even the best of the brains of this world. Even Brahmaji can't count. Is it possible? So the verse says, the scientist may be able to count all the atoms of the earth, all the particles of the snow, all the molecules, but they cannot comprehend the unlimited transcendental, very, very important, unlimited transcendental qualities of whom? Of Purushottama, of Lord Krishna. Because it's ever expanding. That's a beauty. Even the moment you count it, it's expanded, unlimited times. So that's another point. It is said that if in the purport it is mentioned actually, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says that Lord Sankarshana, now he's not an ordinary person, he's the Supreme Lord, in the Savior Bhagwan, he has counted, he has counted what? All the number of atoms in the earth. So Lord Sankarshan has counted. Scientists can't count because they are tiny. But Sankarshana has counted. Yet even such a personality as Sankarshana, who has been constantly and continuously chanting the glories of the Lord since time immemorial, has not even approached a final count of the glories of the Supreme Lord. Isn't that amazing? And Sankarshana, with his thousands and millions of hoods from time immemorial, speaking about the transcendental qualities of the Lord, since still there is no end. He is called Guna Atma, a word to remember from this shloka. Guna Atma, the soul of all superior qualities, the soul of all the qualities. Qualities personified, everything personified. And we have discussed recently that everything is coming from him. So the point here is that Krishna's qualities are infinite. All divine, transcendental qualities. So we should not try to, we may know, 64 qualities, etc. These are just some, thing to give some understanding to us. It's not that Krishna has only 64 qualities. This verse clearly says he's a Guna Atma, Guna ki Atma, the superior soul of all the divine qualities. So there is no end to his qualities. His qualities are ever expanding. There is no end. There is no end. We cannot count. Even if we count the atoms in the world, which is impossible, as if we are not Sankarshana, we can't count. Now, we will take the last verse, and it is very, very important. So I didn't want to stop at 7. I'll stop at maybe 8, because this number 8 verse, and if you want to learn any verse from this 1 to 8, this is the verse to learn. And number 3, you can learn at least the sthani sthita shruti gatam hridvang manobhir. That line is quoted many times. But this verse is quoted many, many times, and one of very, very important verse. It will really help us in every aspect of life. So let's read this one. Tatte nukampam susumikshmano bhunjanivatma kritam vipakam ridvagvapurbhir vidadhan namaste jivetyo mukti pade sadaya bhag. Tatte nukampam susamikshmano bhunjanivatma kritam vipakam Ridvagvapurbhir vidadhan namaste jivetyo mukti pade sadaya bhag. Would someone like to read translation?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Prabhuji. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Isn't that wonderful verse? So 4 items are mentioned in this verse. Number 1, that The Lord waiting earnestly for Lord's mercy. So patience is very, very important in bhakti. And in that process, is there anyone who is not going through ups and downs? There is no one. There is no one in this material world, because this material world is called anityam, temporary, or it's fickle. King can become pauper, pauper can become king. A 20-year-old can die in 20 seconds. I'm not trying to scare anyone, but this doesn't mean I'm a 20-year-old, I'll live for 80 years. Or I'm an 80-year-old, I'll die in 8 seconds. Or the wealth, the beauty, the name, fame, recognition, family. We all know that. We have personally gone through experiences or through our near and dear ones that everything is temporary. So when we are going through all these reversals, this is a verse how to deal with reversals in life, how to deal with ups and downs in life, which everyone will go through and is going through at some point or the other. So while patiently suffering, number 2 point, very, very important. We should not complain, hey, my problem is because of you. We are just getting the reactions of our own past misdeeds. And what to do? Should we just sit silent? Okay, I'm suffering. Okay, what to do? The next point, number 3 point, is very, very important. Actively engaging in devotional service, offering our obeisance with body, mind, and heart. Hrid, Vak, Vapu. The same we read before also. Vak, Manobhir. Tanu, the word used was Tanu. Here it's Vapu, same thing. Mind and heart are often used interchangeably. So again, BMW. So the point is that one should not go in, okay, I am suffering, or I lost my job, or I got this disease, or my family is not, this and that, and or I'm not intelligent, or I don't have money. All whatever is designed for us is specially designed by the Supreme Lord. Why? In the purport, the disciples of Prabhupada are mentioning that the purpose, let me just take you to that point. Yeah. The purpose of the entire creation of God is to rectify the living entity's tendency to enjoy without the Lord. Therefore, the particular punishment given for a sinful activity is specifically designed, tailor-made, custom. It's not one size fits all. It's custom-made. For whom? For myself. Whatever I am going through, ups and downs, is tailor-made for my own self. Why? To curtail the mentality that produced the activity. Basically, what was the activity? Enjoyment without the Lord. Tendency, that's the root cause of all suffering. So the punishment which is coming in my life is for what? Is like a remedy. Is like the aushadhi. Is like the solution. But fools like myself think, why Krishna is doing this to me? That's not the way. We should think Krishna, if we get a finger cut, we should feel, oh, my arm was supposed to be chopped off, but Krishna is only giving a token so I can use my body in his service. So active engagement in service, because we don't know. Today we have this body. Will we have this tomorrow? We don't know. Today I am given the ability to speak. Today I have the ability to hear. If I don't use it in the right way, then tomorrow Krishna may say, well, I gave you this ability. You used it to just hear gossip, talk gossip. Why should I give you? Become an animal. So the idea is to actively engage body, mind, and words, and continue to offer bhakti, continue to render service. Then comes number 4 point. What's the number 4 point? Then without any separate endeavor, the person was the rightful eligible candidate for liberation or go back home, back to God. There are 5 types of liberation. Of course, when we talk in devotional aspect, liberation means back home, back to God. We don't talk about the other forms much, especially the merging into the form of the Lord. That's Narakai. So this verse Prabhupada quotes many, many times. Recently, His Grace Charu Prabhu gave a wonderful class, how to deal with reversals. Krishna may sometimes prune us or trim some branches because he's an expert gardener. An expert gardener knows I'm chopping off the bad, or the when the gardener chops off bad, it's okay. We understand. When the gardener chops off even the good branches, we are shocked. Hey, why are you doing that? Krishna chops off sometimes even the good only for the great to come, to bring out the best in us, because he is our best well-wisher. He is our best friend, best father, best mother, lover, friend, whatever relation. There is no one more dear than him. If we know that, if we understand that, then we will have that the scissors of our life, the pruning is not by our enemy, it is by our best friend. So whatever he is arranging is actually for my right. It is the right thing for me. It is only to help me to grow more in bhakti and not be just carried away in the wrong mentality. What's the wrong mentality? Enjoyment without Krishna. So Brahmaji is saying, in that person, all he has to do is just continue. Be patient, earnestly waiting for Lord's mercy. Don't be hopeless, be helpless. Then when we helpless, we will surrender more. Krishna, I can't do on my own. I need you. Please help me. So, and be patient. Utsaha nishchit dhairya. It's not that we just do for 1 year. Hey, what's going on? I've been chanting for 1 year or 2 years. Nothing is much happening. Patience. And continue to engage in bhakti through body, mind, and words. Don't blame others for my own suffering, because if I bite my tongue with my teeth, whom will I blame? Will I blame Rakesh Prabhu? You are the cause of I bit my tongue. Or will I blame Sudhir Prabhu? No one. It's my own teeth. It's my own karma. People may be delivering that. If a postman delivers a good news, do you kind of like say, okay, postman, you said give such a nice news and I'll just give my everything to you? Or if the postman delivers a bad news, will you just kill the postman or slap the postman? No, the postman is just delivering. It's our own karma. Don't blame the instrument of our own karma. So this is a very, very important verse, how to deal with ups and downs, which Lord Brahma, the most intelligent being, is speaking this. In the material world, is the most intelligent, with his 4 heads, with his experience, with his Mahajan. So our Mahajan is speaking this. This is very, very important verse, and we should try to understand and absorb and try to apply this in our lives. Let's see if we have any comments. But just before that, the one last line also is very important. That if one continues to do that, like a legitimate son, a good son naturally inherits the property of the parents. A good child will naturally, but if the child is very disobedient and does not have good manners and very, very disrespectful to parents, will the parents give their property or their wealth to the child? They know they'll just use it in a wrong purpose. All the child has to do to inherit the property of the parents is to be a good child, a good son or a good daughter. Then naturally it will come. So all we have to do to go back home, back to Godhead, is to be a good devotee, a good child. A good child means a good devotee. A good child means obedient to the instructions of parents. And parents, Krishna Param Pita. Pitahamasya Jagato. Mata Dhata Pitamaha is Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Pranadhan. So a good child means to be a good devotee, because to obey the instructions of the father. Bhagavad Gita, instructions of father means instructions of Bhagavatam, instructions of Bhagavad Gita. So if we do that, then why do we worry about liberation? We'll naturally go back home, back to God if we follow Guru Sadhu Shastra. Okay, now we can take some comments, questions, reflections, any. Yes, Mataji, you want to speak?
Nandasmana. So, Prabhu, I was very struck by this thing that Brahma was gone for only one moment. And so I started calculating our 100,000 years are 1 second for Brahma. And then if we go look at the calculation of time in which we learned about Lava, Nimesha, Kshana, Kasta, Lagu, Danda, and ultimately Muhurta, in chapter 3 of Canto 3 of Vedabase, Srimad Bhagvatam, then we realize that it's Brahma was gone 1/3 of the time it takes sun to travel an atom. So it's so small. It's so small. It's just it's not even mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam how small is that one moment of Brahma. 1/3 of the smallest fraction. I was very mesmerized, and thank you so much for saying that. Don't be hopeless, be helpless. That's very nice. Utsaha dhairyat, nishchayat dhairyat. Very nice, and all other nice points. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You did all the calculations. It's amazing. I didn't realize. Yes.
I had to do it. I'm a math.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts, comments, or questions? Yes, Kumar Prabhu, you want to share something?
Sure, Prabhuji. So, a very nice lecture, and very important points that were raised, and assurance given to us that we just have to be good devotees. So, now the especially important thing, that struck me was towards the end when we said that because our tendency to enjoy without Krishna is the root cause of all our issues. So basically, like eating prasadam, we first have to offer everything, which is, we can do. And also whatever activities that we do, also we have to offer. And I'm just wondering, are there any other things, any other ways in which we can show Krishna that we are offering everything to Krishna? What are the other things that we can do that Krishna might think that we are not sharing with him? Like, so basically, it comes to surrender, So, food, like we don't offer, we are not sharing. What are other things, like in our life? I'm sure you might have talked to a lot of people. You might have some better insight. Would you just wanted your view on that? Direction.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your nice reflections. Yes. Therefore, we need a spiritual master in our lives. And spiritual master means Diksha Guru and Shiksha Guru, who can help us to increase our level of surrender, our level of offering. And based on one's unique situation, the spiritual master, the Guru, can guide more. So, as you said, these items are absolutely necessary, like offering bhoga to the Lord and taking the prasadam, offering charity in Krishna consciousness is very, very essential for, especially for grihasthas or anyone who is earning, because technically the grihasthas only earn, but these days everything is different. So anyone who is earning some charity based on one's situations. Yesterday only, one of my teachers was telling this so important thing that there are all the sincere souls who have advanced. He was sharing three things he has experienced in their life. One is sincere sadhana, especially in the morning time, if possible, one should. Number two is sincere seva, as per Guru Sadhu and Shastra. Because if we don't engage in that service, and that's what is mentioned here, Hrid Vag Vapu. Hrid Vag, by body, by mind, and by heart. So mind we are using pretty much in chanting. And of course, planning for some program, festival, book distribution. We have to use our mind, right? Now, how can we distribute books now? Devotees have used their mind, creativity, intelligence. So the scriptures are giving the essence, how we have to apply, we have to discuss with Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, so we can apply those principles to serve Krishna more and more and more. At the same time, our using our body by cooking for Krishna, serving, cleaning the temple, etc. So, and words by sharing Krishna Katha, by speaking about Krishna. So, and we should discuss about our services, about our challenges with our teacher, and they will be able to help us and guide us more specifically that okay, you should do this more, you should do this less, you should not do this or do this, because we all need that. We all need someone who can help us to improve more and more, as you said, how to apply the Bhagavatam, how to be a good son, a good daughter, a good devotee. Does that help, Prabhu? These are my thoughts on based on.
Sure, Guruji. Thanks very much. Very helpful. Hare Krishna.
Any other comments, questions, thoughts? Already a little over
Yes,
time.
Prabhuji.
Already.
Hare Krishna, dear
Hare
devotees.
Krishna.
I was very fortunate to hear this part of this katha this morning. Our troubles is a remedy given by Krishna to correct our mistakes. And if we act properly without blaming Krishna and acknowledge this by practicing Prema Bhakti, we can get liberated.
Yeah, very, very nice words. And anyone, text number 60 explains the Falashruti. Any person who hears or chants these beautiful pastimes of Lord Murari performing with his cowherd friends, killing of Agasur, taking of lunch in the forest grass, on the forest grass, and the Lord's manifestations of his transcendental forms, which we discussed, he expanded into all the cows and the boys, and the wonderful prayers of Brahma, is sure to achieve all his spiritual desires. Isn't that amazing? All of you heard this so nicely. You'll achieve all your spiritual desires. Any other comments, questions?
Yeah, Prabhu. It's about me, like when it is coming to materialistic things, if you wanted to do something. So as you said, like I can think anyways, like I wanted to do some creativity, I can research, etc., etc. But when it comes to bhakti, yeah, okay, because of this I cannot do, yeah. So I don't think in the creativity, means of course if you want to do something there is a way. So because there is a lack of bhakti. That's it.
It's a comment or a question?
It's a comment.
Comment. Mm-hmm. You're humble, so you are saying like this, which is good. It's good to understand what we have and what we are missing, and slowly keep improving. You're trying, keep good association of devotees. Pray to Krishna to have those desires, and the desires will be fulfilled. All we need is desire, lalyam. So, and the desires also will come in good association of devotees. Because if we have association of more materialistic people, then materialistic desires will flourish, very natural. So, association is very critical. Good association, sadhu sangha will lead to all good things. So keep trying. We are all trying in our own journeys. Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone else? So we only covered 8 verses so far out of 40, 1/5. Something better than nothing. But yeah, if Krishna willing, we'll. Right now, Brahmaji has not even come to his point. Now he's actually 9th verse onwards. He's actually, repenting, and he's begging for forgiveness. Please forgive me. I made a mistake. Now he's coming to the point. So maybe in future discussions, if Krishna willing, we can study that. Very nice lessons. So, okay, so if there is not anything else,
You should continue this, Prabhu, next week.
next week is.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Let's take it
actually, you should continue this.
at least
We'll,
for
we'll see.
this remaining time of Purushottam month.
Yeah, next week the speakers have been finalized, but we can maybe cover in the weekday sessions if Krishna willing. So
On classes.
okay, I'll certainly try. So thank you everyone for your time and your blessings, and if I misspoke anything, like your brother, son, servant, please excuse me and correct me through right Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. And if you like something, it is Lord Krishna and his bona fide acharyas, his teachings. You just repeated the words, nothing is mine, everything is coming from there. So thank you so much for giving me this chance to purify myself, to speak Srimad Bhagavatam, engaging my words in the service of the Supreme Lord, and giving your time and attention. So we will pause here and continue tomorrow. Tomorrow Vamsilas Prabhu is going to arrange Srila Prabhupada's special class, so don't miss it. He is going to lead us to Srila Prabhupada class. Srila Prabhupada will be speaking, and then he will have some questions and to make it more engaging and some discussions afterwards. Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Brahma Vimohan Leela ki jai. Prayers of Lord Brahma ki jai. Purushottama Mas ki jai. Shri Krishna Purushottama Bhagavan ki jai.
Jai.
Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.